Even though Shadows of Change initially left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths, to put it very lightly, I do think Creative Assembly has done a pretty good job of addressing most of the issues. The Changeling's cost is one that was initially raised that mostly has been fixed now. In this replay, Sage is going to be transforming into Vlad von Karstein. Should be very interesting. Got a bunch of pinks here, or just the one pink. Regiment of Renown, actually, the Sour Guts. Looks like blues to flank them here. Yep, with some Zangors in the back for some mobility, some spawn, front line of Marauders, some Changebringers in the woods in tactical reserve against this wide Skaven build here. Quick Head Taker, very cheap, not that good, but he's here with Plague Priest and Natty Bubo Sharpshooters. Honestly, though, Queek's heroic debuff might not be that bad for trying to snipe Tzeentch characters once they get on the ground. The thing is, I think you probably need Howling Warp Gale from a Warlock Engineer to lock them on the ground. He does at least have a Plague Priest for Vermintide and Pestilent Breath, so definitely looking for cheap leadership as much as possible to just go nice and wide. We've got Natty Bubo Sharpshooters, some Sensor Bearers, Plague Monk Sensor Bearers, Clan Rat Spears, Warp Fire Throwers up front, some Skaven Slaves, Rat Ogres, 2 Plague Claw Catapults, Eshin Triads in the back, and some Warp Fire Throwers over there. This map is a little bit conducive to some what we'd call line camping in certain rule sets, but that's okay. Let's see what Sage can do with the Changeling. Talking about Shadows of Change, really lived up to its name in that it forced Creative Assembly to really reassess a lot of things about the way they were doing business. They faced themselves a lot of change in their staff, in that literally people were getting laid off by the corporate executives at Sega. You know, they faced a giant house cleaning, basically, which, I don't know, is that still going on? I think they've pretty much weathered the storm at this point, and obviously we'll see where future projects go. All eyes on this point are going to be on Thrones of Decay, and should be able to provide a good amount of content. But, oh yeah, speaking of content, these Marauders getting deleted by Warp Fire Throwers is definitely content. Then the Return Fire, Warp Fire Throwers are not actually, don't have any fire resistance, unlike, say, the Dwarven Flamethrowers, so they actually will take quite a bit of return damage there on that Return Fire. Anyway, yeah, I mean, there's still a lot of things they could have done to fix certain issues. They did a lot, especially on the battle side in this second update, where it really seems like Creative Assembly's battle devs have sort of been given license to actually create some new modifiers and effects, like silence, right? Immune to flanking. Granted, we've got to be careful about how we use these things, but still, definitely cool to see some new effects being added into the game. And new characters and the new units definitely add a bit. Been playing a Kislev campaign recently, and the changes to the Kislev campaign map also, I can't remember, were those, I don't believe, were in the initial Shadows of Change, right? But anyway, yeah, honestly, Kislev, like, the supporter race in campaign is still not the most fun thing in the world, but it's definitely better. Oof, yeah, some more fire coming on those Sensor Bears, getting some pretty good value from the blues. They didn't get the best contact there as these Clan Rat Spears kind of move into block. The spawns in the center are having generally a pretty good time. They are fighting Clan Rat Spears, which is not the best. We do see Vlad out here now, but yeah, I mean, the campaign definitely, Kislev's campaign, at least playing Katarine and Kostaltin, I can't say for actually playing the hag herself, but yeah, playing in Kislev itself seems to be a lot better. Like that, you have actual province capitals now and everything. Again, they might have done that with the actual Shadows of Change update. I didn't play enough campaign because I wasn't very enthused about the update to be able to tell you, honestly, which says something about it. But yeah, we'll see with Thrones of Decay whether or not they can keep up this level of content. And, you know, a lot of people still have a lot of issues, and that's fine. You know, absolutely continue to provide feedback to Creative Assembly, but sort of me having a little bit of insider knowledge because of my relationship with Creative Assembly, I will say I'm overall pretty happy with how they've handled things with Shadows of Change, and I'm pretty excited, being an Empire fan, for Thrones of Decay. Did I say Thrones of Delay earlier? I don't know. Might have been a little Freudian slip there. But yeah, Shadows of Change indeed. Hopefully change for the better for Creative Assembly. Change in the way they do things, in their outlook, in their sort of attitude towards their customers, really. But man, Vlad's getting absolutely pummeled here. Changeling coming in as Quick Head Taker with his assassination debuffs, just gets his paws all over the Changeling here. who of course in vampiric form has plenty of capacity to self-heal and summon some zombies in here to help out. Yeah, we see some Tzeentchian zombies in their pink garments, duking it out and starting to slow down. This is actually pretty good because it does allow Tzeentch a lot of extra bodies to take on like a horde-style faction like the Skaven here. And, I mean, Warp Fire Throwers should be able to clear out some of this if they're able to get good contact, but more summons this time on the side of the Skaven. Clan Rats coming in to counteract the zombie summons. Vladling moving back around here. And, oh yeah, here come the reserve changelings as well. Things are really not looking great for Tzeentch up until about this moment. You can see from the balance of power and the overall flow of the battle. Lost a lot of demonic units. Marauders also having some leadership issues, but the Chainbringers come in. They really don't have any direct threats, you know, in terms of up-close DPS. They're able to just delete Natty Bubo's sharpshooters. We're going to see the Tzeentchian bombardment come down on the Plague Claw catapults. Should be able to do some decent damage there. Let's see if it actually destroys any of the artillery pieces or kills enough of the crew to make them inoperable. Okay, so it did actually blow up a couple of the models there. And Changebringers getting hit by the catapult actually do take some damage. Apologize about that, my phone going off there. But yeah, see summon clan rats starting to run out. More summon zombies here starting to also run out. But Vlad being able to just continue pressing bodies. And that's really true of Changeling turning into any, you know, summoner lord, any lord with summons, but the vampire summons in particular because they're cheap wins magic-wise, and War of Vampires has some pretty good other spells, even as it pertains to Tzeentch. You know, you can't really heal. I don't think, yeah, this only applies to undead units, so you can't heal your other units with Invocation of Nehek, but you can still come in here and throw down some, like, Curse of Years. Apologize about that. Let me just silence my phone, actually. Yeah, Curse of Years, you can throw in a little Overcast, Dance Macabre to give some melee attack buffs, but looks like Queek had his time in the sun, gets a little bit too beat up by now. Ooh, Changebringer's coming in here, just absolutely working all these units. They've used up all their ammunition in a pretty short order, and they've managed to get about 2,400 gold value there. Absolutely fantastic performance from them. I don't know why. I thought I silenced my phone, guys, I swear. I apologize. I don't know if you can even hear that very well, but my absolutely haggard ringtone. Yeah, Changebringer's going to use their last couple of volleys to come in here and just absolutely delete the Plague Claw catapults. And Skaven are a faction that has the tools. Again, Howling Warp Gale is almost essential, I think, in this matchup. For really any faction, any kind of flying control tools you have, since Tzeentch is such a strong flying-focused faction, you definitely are going to need some kind of flying control, ability to try and snipe out units like Changebringers, but, I mean, they might have got just 3,000 damage value straight up, almost. They are still attacking in melee there and getting a tiny bit of value. But we'll fast forward through this late game as it looks like Vlad now, getting towards his healing cap, is going to be able to, yeah, sustain with some Invocation of Heck just fine through fighting down the rest of those Rat Ogres here. And, yeah, Vlad can just activate tank mode here. Although Queek is coming in here with some bad intent. Charge of the Sensor Bearers is blunted somewhat. Queek chooses to chad through, but this is actually by design, right? Kind of separates him, although we do see some Plague Monk summons locally. Looking very solid so far for... yeah, the vampire counts... I say vampire counts. It's actually Tzeentch. It's just a prank, right? Just a prank, bro. Yeah, the pink zombies, pink and blue zombies are definitely a style choice as well. Absolutely chaotic mess here in the endgame, just as Tzeentch would prefer. Lots of bodies being summoned on both sides. The zombies continuing to provide something, but you can see here, yeah, Vlad being able to recover his HP is basically the difference here between him and Queek. I mean, he also has overall just better stats, but even with those debuffs, manages to hammer home the win. So Sage, quite the battle for him, and a very fun one as well. Those Changebringers are so nasty, man. Absolutely disgusting. And yeah, like I said, flying control tools, absolutely essential against Tzeentch if you have them. Howling Warp Gale being a big one for the Skaven. Also, if you can take the, depending on the map, like on that map, you potentially could have hidden some Rattling Gunners, even the Regiment of Renown Rattling Gunners. They would be a great anti-air tool for slapping those Changebringers out of the sky with a lot more DPS. Even the Slingers, honestly, take a handful of Skaven Slave Slingers for relatively cheap. And again, Howling Warp Gale, Focus Fire. The Changebringers have low enough HP, and with that much volume of fire, you can do damage enough to threaten them at least and keep them from getting so much value. But overall, fun game on the Skaven side here. Yeah, value, a lot of things are going to struggle to pay for themselves. Some of the ranged units do a pretty decent job overall. But it's a fun one for sure. Hopefully you guys enjoyed watching that. If you do like this sort of content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification button. Every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified. Thanks again. We'll see you next time.